Welcome to the 2025 Economic Depression and Preparation Channel. I'm your host, Tony. Thank you for joining me on this Wednesday, March 12th, 2025 edition. Please be sure to subscribe to Preach to Me. Hit that like button on the way in, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate all of your comments and support as we all weather this storm together in 2025. Today, we're going to be talking about the budget deficit continuing to surge, as well as the debt above $36 trillion. In addition, gold and silver began to rally on the tame U.S. CPI numbers, consumer price index numbers that came in, at least the official numbers that came in. They're also going to be talking about retail earnings. American Eagle, Spirit Airlines also completes Chapter 11 bankruptcy restructuring. Will other airlines like Southwest and others go under before the year is out, or merger and acquisitions? That's going to be a hot topic this summer and later on in the fall. So we're going to get right into it. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we're looking at the S&P 500 futures are little change pulled after the index posted first winning season in 3. So today, it was up a little bit today. The Dow and the S&P and the NASDAQ was up a little bit today after yesterday's and 2 days in a row meltdown of these markets. And so the markets can breathe a little bit of a sigh of relief, but we're not out of the woods yet, as you know. I mean, just because the markets go up a little bit and it looks like a winning week or a winning thing does not mean that this economy is doing well. And many Americans feel this economy is not doing all so great right now, and there is recession fears on the horizon, respectively. So, but in the extended trading after hours, Intel popped up more than 11% after the company said it appointed Lip Bhutan as a new CEO. Adobe was down 4%. So overall, there was a 0.5% advance to those S&P 500 companies, as well as the NASDAQ up to a 1.2% gain. The February Consumer Price Index measures the broad costs across the U.S. economy, obviously excluding food, energy costs, and other costs, came in softer than expected. So headline inflation only rose to 0.02% from the prior month. But the key thing to hear, ladies and gentlemen, is that inflation is still rising. Many of you are still aware of that. We got homeowners insurance bills that went up. We've got, taxes that went up. We've got new people in cities. Some cities, townships, and municipalities are raising water and sewer fees. They're raising every fees they can, gas fees. This is going to continue throughout as we approach the summertime months as well. And so many people are saying that their check is being stretched thin, their paycheck, and there's not much left over for any type of savings or investment in these markets. With the way these bills are continuing to increase in diameter here. So as you can see here, gold and silver rally on the tame U.S. CPI, a safe haven buying. This is by Kitco News. As you know, they're big proponents of gold and silver. But gold and silver prices are up solidly, and it's possible that gold could break $3,000 after next month, this summer. And it's possible that silver could stay above $30 per ounce. So that's good news for people who are in the precious metals. So that, because obviously the dollar has been weak against the yen, the US dollar has been weak against the yen, the sterling pound, and other currencies in the basket of currencies. And so we have to wait and see how that pans out later on in the future. But the gold and silver index, as you can see, it's up. The spot gold price is up to over above $29.30, $29.40 an ounce there as it closed. And you can see silver is up above $33 an ounce almost now. It's up to $32.90, $33, so it's been up above $30 for quite some time now. So it is rising. Both of these are rising. Does that bode well for the future of the U.S. dollar? It remains to be seen. But the U.S. budget deficit continued to surge in February. Now it's passing $1 trillion year-to-date record. So we're going to see a restructuring, a reset of this economy, regardless of what the administration has in mind. They've always been doing that because they're cutting government spending, trying to cut government spending down. And this is going to continue. That cutting of the government spending and the jobs is going to continue through summer for some non-mission critical areas, non-mission critical job functions. So let's keep that in mind. Now, this is also going to be because we're passing the continuing resolution, got passed through the House. It passed through the Senate, is in the Senate now as we speak for the government shutdown. It's supposed to be this Friday, I believe. It's supposed to happen this Friday, of course, at midnight on the 14th. So we'll look for that to see if they pass that CR, that continuing resolution to keep the government funded through, through August or July or whenever they decide. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But in the meantime, government spending is still eased slightly according to this CNBC.com report, but it still far outpaced revenue according to a Treasury Department statement Wednesday. The deficit is over $3 billion for the month of February, 2.5 times was in January, and 3.7% higher than in February. So the bottom line is that, when you're talking about an economy, ladies and gentlemen, that has a $25 trillion economy here, such as the U.S. economy, it's going to take time to cut that type of spending. It just doesn't happen overnight, stop on the dime, because you have many defense contracts, you have many, things outside of the things that normally happen in day-to-day functions, many entitlement programs, many other programs that go on. So it's going to take time for that to filter through the system. American Eagle says consumer is slowing down, issues weak guidance. We've seen this. We've seen stores close down. American Eagle and most of these malls that you've been to, they've been pretty much dead. The young people don't go there. You can name Aeropostale, all these stores you can name in the same group, Forever 21. The foot traffic is down. I think the only one that may have a little bit more foot traffic is the I forgot the name of that store. It's like a D2W or what is it? Not DSW, but it's another store that's like American Eagle and Forever 21 that the young people. Oh, H&M. There we go. H&M. I'm sorry. They may have a little bit more foot traffic in these malls and outlet centers across the country because a lot of young people like their clothing and the hip brands and stuff like that. But all these other stores like American Eagle, Toxic, Topic, or Torrid or something like that, and these other stores that the young people like, it's starting to slow down. People are not buying, and they're pulling back on spending even online with these type of things. So expect these stores to either close down or merge. Gap had a resurgence, as I told you last week. The Gap store had a resurgence, and the CEO feels confident they can stay open for another 3 years, but we'll see. Shares fell about 5% in extended trading with American Eagle here, so they didn't beat estimates here. But these tariffs are coming in, and these tariffs are expected to weigh in on results, according to Michael Matthias, who's a senior finance chief with Ares. So he's saying that these tariffs are going to come in. Obviously, the tariffs are going to affect clothing, electronics. Tariffs are going to affect most of the things that come into America here, and we're going to see those tariffs be coming to mostly affect after the summertime. That's what we're going to feel it going into the fall and the winter of this year. And it's not going to be anything groundbreaking, but we know that prices are going to continue to rise. We know that jobs are going to be few and far in between and be harder to replace the jobs that are going to be cut. That's the unfortunate part about this thing, is that yes, we're going to be trimming down and belt tightening both American consumers and around the world, and also the government's going to be tightening up the credit, and the banks are going to be tightening up the credit and the loans. So the problem is that what are you replacing that with? Are you replacing that with high-paying jobs, manufacturing jobs, technological jobs? If not, then you're left with still a big, huge gap between the rich and the poor. You're still left with a lot of money that's lost in this economy, and a lot of productivity that's lost in this economy, and overall well-being. So we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. In the meantime, what we have to look forward to is coming up is the jobs report coming up tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. We're going to see if that trend continues of adding jobs. Now, last month they only added barely 100,000 jobs, like 140. I think I showed you guys 150,000 jobs. So let's see if the numbers continue to drop. We're not adding as many jobs, and also we're losing a lot of jobs now with this cuts to the government sector, as well as cuts to the retail and hospitality sector, as people are just not, they're not going out to eat as much. Not a blame, because it's expensive, you guys. You go to any of these places like Chick-fil-A or Texas Roadhouse, two people, you're looking at $30 almost, and then even more so if you got a family, you're looking at $60. Some of these places are, steakhouse, you go to any of these places, even for Panda Express is high. So we have to wait and see what happens. But in the meantime, God bless, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.